goes to...
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Amazing young energy. They are fantastic.
A big hello and a very warm welcome to Brand Equity. We're at the Goafest and it's 15 years of this festival. I am honored to be joined by industry veterans, clients, traditional, new age, and I'm hoping to have a very candid discussion on what's happened with the industry in the last 15 years. Have we really evolved? Have we regressed or have we remained stagnant? So let me kickstart this discussion and let me open the floor. I'll start with you, Sam. It's been 15 years, lots has happened, but lots has remained the same. Let's just start with Goafest to keep it simple initially before we deep dive into tougher issues. What do you think the festival has turned out to be 15 years later? It was supposed to be the mecca of Indian advertising, just like we have the Cannes Lions. But do you think that's actually happened? Today, for instance, I'm sitting at Goafest, but the number of participation from under 35 seems dismal. I don't see enough client participation. In fact, what is more interesting is even the creative fraternity is not here as we used to see, let's say, in the past. So where are we heading?
So Sonali, my perspective is, it's a question of perspective, as you know, always. I think the fact that in difficult situations we have been able to continue with Goafest for 15 years is, to my mind, an achievement. But yes, as I said this morning, I would like to see a time when, today I believe we are 1600 people here. I think we should be at least 16,000. We are an industry now of 90,000 crores. So over this 15 years, the thing that has gone up, certainly beyond doubt, is the numbers. When I say number, ad expend. So that has gone up phenomenally. So you could say we have progressed. We have regressed in some ways. I think inflation has caught on. Who is the advertiser friend on this panel? Advertisers are not investing in advertising talent. They're investing in advertising. But for some reason, they're not investing in advertising talent. They're paying their agencies lower and lower. Because of that, I think the place where we have regressed, despite all the progress that we are making and all the value that we are delivering to advertisers, is that advertisers are not feeding the advertising industry. There was a time when Madison used to hire people from good institutes. Today, I can't even hire from MICA, which was created for advertising.
Yeah.
MICA is Mudra Institute of Communication. It was created for advertising, and imagine 20 years later, we can't afford a MICA graduate. So, from that point of view, I think we have regressed. But I think, as I see it, I think the model that I would like to propose to both Three Years of I and Abby is, I think if we are feeding media with 90,000 crores, I think media should come forward and support this event a lot more. I think we need about 20 crores of rupees coming in from media by way of sponsorships. I think your company has done an excellent job. I think third or fourth time in a row they've come forward. I'm sure the goodwill they're going to gain by associating themselves with this event is going to be far more than what they've paid. But I think if we can get 20-25 crores of sponsorship, then I think we can make this event a lot easier on the purse. Don't forget, this is a very, very expensive event for people to participate. I mean, a lot of agencies, for example, if I may give you the Madison route, we've got 200 people here. But we don't pay for all 200. We've evolved a system where if you are on the short list of the awards, then Madison picks up the tab. Otherwise, there's some system where we only pay for registration or we only pay for this. All that I think should go away. In the first year when we had it, we said everybody come. And I think the room rate at that time was maybe 3,000, 4,000. Now it's 15,000. The airfares are 7, 8,000. So, I mean, Madison's investment in Goafest is upwards of 1 crore of rupees. So we're talking about big bucks. I think this event has to get more younger people. We want to inspire them. It has to get more people from smaller towns, smaller agencies. We want to show them the world of advertising. That is why Goafest was created 15 years ago. 15 years ago, we said under 30, 3 years of I would pay for everything. You pay only 4,000. Travel, boarding, lodging, lunch, dinner, everything on the house.
Sure.
I think it was a brilliant concept. We've not been able to live up to it for commercial reasons, and I hope we can rectify that.
Taking it to you, Ajay, next, because he said that advertisers need to feed the industry, need to make it more viable, not just Goafest apart, generally as an industry, talent recruitment, investment in their own infrastructure. Why are advertisers, and please speak on behalf of your clan, why are advertisers not believing in the investment?
If advertisers did not believe in investment, they would not advertise. There wouldn't be an advertising industry. So I think it all starts with the desire and how you convert that desire into a reality. I think we are on a journey where the advertisers have realized the evolving need of brand building. They have realized the evolving need of partnership and evolving models of partnership. My belief is that the industry has risen to the occasion, and I would look at the half glass full if you want to call half glass empty. If you look at the fact that today the Goafest is possibly in its 15th year, but what is Goafest?
I'm actually confused about that.
And I think that's important for people like yourselves and all of us to make clear. Goafest, I have always believed, is a melting point for people to come and see, discuss, get inspired and inspire people. But Goafest is also got a very important part of the celebration, which is the celebration of work. And if you look at the Abbeys, which has been here for about 6 decades, if I'm not wrong, the Abbeys is the gold standard in India, as far as we have, and it is to recognize work. What has happened over a period of time, and that's my belief, is that we are a fraternity who believe in building brands for others. What about building brands for ourselves? And this 2 years gap that has come to us for reasons we would like to forget, actually has given us an opportunity to do that. So today, if I look at what Abbeys is, it is the Abbey One Show Awards. It is to acknowledge the fact that the world's best needs to be India's best. It's not a case of competing, but collaborating. Similarly, if you look at the Goafest, the entire focus has been to try and get today's issues discussed along with those of tomorrow. So I see the Goafest having evolved with the time. The Abbey, now as it's called, the Abbey One Show Awards, having gone far ahead of the industry expectations. And to me, that is the metric of success of what we have achieved.
Okay, wow, that's really an optimistic view. But I'll take it to you, Rana, and and then also Partha before I come to you, Raj. And you're the new blood that's as part of the industry body. Otherwise, we've had a lot of old people. I would have called it an old boys club. I'm just refraining from calling it a geriatrics club, but I'm going to say that on air. So we have some new working professionals who are still relevant in the industry, who are running it. So to you young men, relatively speaking, Rana, I'm asking you as a person who's attended Goafest, what does Goafest stand for? Today I saw the programming, yesterday's programming, tomorrow's programming. To me, it seems a bit confused. Are we looking at pulling crowd and looking at glamour? Or are we looking at talking about industry issues, which it used to be at one point as an industry conclave, where we would have debates about industry issues? Or are we looking at random conversations, people, somebody from a good startup person like Vineeta, then you have Madhuri Dixit, then you have Kapil Dev. So what's happening? Where is the seamless programming as somebody who's come here to be interested in the advertising, marketing and brand building world? Where are your clients?
I think it's a fair point, Sonali. So, okay, let me just pull back for a moment. I think, what I'll do is I'll just pause you for a second. And I think the biggest point that you must consider is that if we were leading our normal lives till 2019, the way we led our lives, and we had a 2021, 22, and this was 2022 Goafest, I would have completely agreed with you, and I would have asked you a similar question that even I'm confused. I think what has happened over the last few years is that it has completely stopped and paused a lot of things. And what we are trying to do, and without getting into any kind of controversial remarks about what's right, what's wrong, I think first we are trying to get the people back together, right? Like you said.
But Rana, that effort has been going on now for a long time.
Oh no. Let me explain now. The point is, first and foremost, we've forgotten about how to get back together, right? So it's like first we decided, okay, let's come back together. As you said, young blood, right? So as young blood, we are trying to get back people together. We are trying to get some concepts back. We are trying to do some experimentation. One show, like Ajay mentioned, is one of the biggest stories that we've had this year. Year one, right? Year one of one show. Yes, there are some, challenges with the kind of stuff that we wanted to do for, let's say, the Goafest entire things. But you also know the limitations of travel, you know the limitations of people, you know the challenges that people are. People are still not comfortable traveling, still not comfortable coming here with 2,000 people getting into our hall, going up on stage. Bravo to all the people who have come. Some of these are quite big names. You saw some of these names. I think the point to stop, which is why I said, let's pause for a bit and say that, are we getting our act right? Are we trying to get some things back in order? Do we have some learnings on the table? I can tell you, and I can vouch for, because I wear both the hats of the Ad Club and 3 Years of I, there is definitely a clear agenda that we are trying to understand how do we make it better? How do we make it bigger? How do we get the young back? How do we get the youth back? What do we do in our one show? Can we make the awards better? Can we get a better thing? Can we truncate? Because, I don't want to call it like the young or the old. I think there are enough learnings on the table. Enough learnings on the table for this new team to sit together and kind of get the act back to shape to say, what do we do? And we take completely conscious of the fact that the youth is missing. We don't know how many people have come. We are excited about 2,000 people have come. We are very excited.
Yeah.
Because 1 month back, we thought nobody will turn up. 1 month back, Partha and I were sitting and saying, what if nobody bloody enters the awards, even if it's one show? So when you ask how many agencies have come back, we've really managed to pull back a lot of agencies. But guess what? All agencies are interested. They want to come back because, there is a new, if I may say that an establishment has passed on. This is a new establishment. There are new people running all the top agencies. There are new people running the new networks. There is a new perspective that's coming on the table. Good, bad, ugly, we are discussing. We are saying that, guys, how do we come together? How do we work with the media establishments? How do we work with our clients? Of course, you're right. We've got few clients, but listen, our client approaches are changing. We are telling the clients, come with us. Let's go here. We are taking them to Cannes. We are taking them to all these festivals. There are many clients who want to now start coming out because remember, the clients have also changed. Their thinking have changed. They are younger. They're different. We have somebody sitting here. Guess what? Most of the clients have also evolved over the years. So I am definitely coming from a very different point of view, which is that you give it a time, maybe give it another year or so. I kid you not, you're going to see a lot of change coming in because of that new perspective that some of us are bringing on the table. This Goafest is a melting pot of all of us coming together and trying to kind of sense and feel and sit. Like today we are sitting close to each other. I don't think we were even thinking about this even 3 months back. So my perspective is that we are moving, we have moved, and yeah, okay, fine, there are questions and all, but are we addressing it? I'm sure we are going to address it. And I'm very positive about next year's Goafest or the Abbey's show because you're going to see it's lots more change, same place, same time, maybe a bit here and there, maybe in the month of April, same kind of questions, and you'll have a different answer from me.
Fair enough. I'm looking forward to that. Partha, I'm going to come to you and I'm going to take you away from Goafest for a bit, right? I've got that perspective.
Okay.
But you have worked with an agency. You're now a publisher. So you,
And I've also worked in marketing.
yes, right? So with that perspective, in the last 15 years, do you think the client-agency relationship has become matured, evolved, they're one unit hand in hand? Or I think has it become more transactional and a much more insecure relationship than it used to be, let's say when I joined journalism first. And in that, please also point out the flaws of the agency business and the flaws of marketers on both sides as to why this relationship is not evolving. We may talk about it, in theory, we may say on paper it's working, but till date you don't have pitch fees. Till date, there are different partners for different things. I mean, and if you actually look at it, look at the kind of brands and the work they're doing. One big hullabaloo on Twitter, they can't hold their stance. I feel sad for them because, of the polarization that's happening. They have to remove their advertising, their messaging. They have to apologize. It's not so much in the US, although that's also very polarized. But they're able to, most brands who are worth their salt are able to stick their stance, stick to their guns. It's not happening in India. And while we talk about purpose-led advertising, purpose-led brands, sometimes I think it's all humbug. It's just, we're just talking in our own circle, self-fulfilling prophecy. So please give me your view.
Where do you want me to start?
Start wherever you want.
Yes. Okay. Let me say one very simple thing. Both the advertising fraternity and the marketing fraternity quickly succumb to, forces which are not necessarily superior forces. Initially, it was the finance blocks. So I have always asked this question. Like the valuation was the prerogative of a finance group, but it's actually perceptual, right? Two companies doing the same kind of work, similar kind of turnover, can have a P ratio difference of 1:30 and 40. So that can't be a rational, logical, finance-related thing saying, I've structured my balance sheet so well that my P ratio is awesome. It is a perception management. So the marketing and the advertising blocks quickly, succumb to this finance guy and saying, oh, those guys are whiz kids. All advertising needed to do was to teach itself the idea of finance and business. We missed that bus. Then now the data analytics guy coming and telling that, hello, the superpower is here. What are you doing? You are coming up with ideas. Forget the ideas. It's the distribution which is important. Can you believe it? We have actually succumbed to that idea, saying that idea is not really important. It's how the damn idea is getting distributed. So tomorrow, don't get too surprised if the logistics guy comes and says marketing is not. Logistics is everything. Then some other day, general maintenance guy will come and tell the same thing. So I'm saying that somewhere, marketing and advertising blocks need to come out of this thing saying that everybody else seems to be knowing better business than us. No, the answer is not there. Answer is you teach yourself better business. So I'm sorry to say this. I've seen the importance of marketing department inside organizations have dramatically reduced over years. Yeah. Even very strong marketing companies. I'm saying
I've completely canned the marketing department.
Many times. Yes. They have got rid of so many people. They have, truncated their departments. So from, middle of the boardroom, they have almost got reduced into a commercial break. So I'm saying that is actually not just the advertising agency's problem or the marketer's problem. I think it's a problem with the world of marketing has been evolving, and unfortunately, very urgently, the world of marketing needs a very strong dose of injection of idea of business. If that business sense is not injected very quickly, it will go further and further down. And really, you see, today the data analytics guy is actually saying that, listen, I give you more marketing insight than anybody else. Thank you. You may give marketing insight. What the hell I'm supposed to do with knowing that 43.3% people do this? And I will tell you something. I will not take the name of the client. It's one of the largest, tech behemoth, and I was sitting in their fancy office in
San Fran.
Well, I'll not name it. So we are having a meeting, and we are actually having a meeting whether a blue color banner will have more click-through versus a red color banner. And that's what the data analytics guy have actually instilled. They have said that, listen, it doesn't matter. I will tell you from historical data that this is and from the pattern analysis, that the probability of clicking on a right colored like red color banner is more. There was a group of people, a badmash bunch of Stanford students, who created a thing called the blank banner project. I mean, I'm talking about the banner period. Of course, we have moved on. They created a blank banner project where they actually proved that a blank banner gets as much click-through as a banner with content.
Wow.
Okay, so distribution is one thing, idea is another thing. Most of the businesses run on ideas. Ask Vineeta. Her business is a strong idea. If that idea is not there, nothing will be important. The best part about the marketing blocks and the advertising blocks, they're supposed to be working very close to life, pick up ideas, and then give it a shape in business. What has happened is people who are giving it a shape in business have taken over their job and saying that this is not really important. So I think the problem starts there. And as an industry, it's incumbent upon us to try and instill the sense of business into the world of ideas. If we don't do that, it will go further and further down.
Vineeta, so you are a client, you're a new age brand, new age company. What is your view of how you perceive the advertising industry and also marketers, but legacy marketers?
Okay, before that, I'll just want to add on the Goafest piece. I think I've been to a lot of corporate events, my first time in Goafest. The one thing that I'm very optimistic, and it's my job as an entrepreneur to be optimistic, is that I see about 30 to 40% women. So I feel that in terms of just directionally, this...
Look at the panel here.
You picked the wrong panel. Offense, boys. But yeah, so talking about advertising, I feel I agree with Partha, but I would want to add to that I think we've come back a full circle here. When I was graduating from IIM Ahmedabad, I remember that, marketing and advertising was all about like emotion and just, getting the connect with the consumer and just, understanding what the brand really stood for. And then, of course, in the last 14, 15 years, the shift changed from the percentage of this 90,000 crore coming from the traditional companies versus the new age companies, right? So if you look at IPL today, you see that the significant percentage of the spend is coming from new age companies. Now, as startups grew, our desire and pressure from the boards to make every dollar accountable was so high that we kept putting more and more percentage of our advertising money into performance marketing and then the superpowers, and then I call those two large Facebook and Google like the MyBabs, right? They control like the entire media, and I feel that almost 40-50% of the VC capital that's gone in the last 12 months, which has created 100 unicorns, has gone back to Facebook and Google because that's where all the spends are happening. And but obviously their algorithms are so strong that beyond a point they figure out a way that your cost of acquisition goes up to as much as your average order value, and then brands start scrambling. So I feel that in that whole the ease and the measurement, it went to such an extreme that all the relationships became so transactional with the consumer that marketing went from being super emotional to being very transactional. And suddenly in the last 12 months, I've started seeing that brands have realized that, the power has shifted from the advertiser to the media, because there is, you are so dependent on just two media houses controlling like so much of your budget and their algorithms being stronger than any, marketer out there, that it's just the, I don't think brands are now happy with that shift of power, and which is why conversations in boardrooms, I feel over the last 12 months, have swung back to saying, can we build a brand rather than just growing revenue on steroids? So can we really, what do we stand for? And there are conversations happening. we have so much pressure. Like for the first time, we are carving out larger budgets for brand building than performance marketing, even though our revenue teams, need a certain percentage of their budget going back and, them being able to control that. So I do feel that in the next decade, as he said, there will be this, like organizations and, events like these will suddenly have meaning because the new age guys will finally start believing in brand building again. So I'm very long on brands coming out of India. And I do feel that that won't happen through performance marketing, which is why traditional advertising, maybe not television, but just brand building, developing a connect and knowing what you're standing for, whether it's a purpose or an emotion, is going to become important.
Well, that's definitely
In
hopeful.
fact, can I just add something to
Yeah.
what Vineeta is saying? Because as luck would have it, we have been possibly taught by the same set of professors, though I passed out long ago from Ahmedabad. But this has exactly happened to Goafest also. What we are trying to do with Goafest to get more people to participate, we are trying to go performance marketing route. Going and asking every single individual agency, will you please join? So we pulled back and thought that can we change the Abbey Award to a level where we don't have to go and request people to come.
Exactly.
So fundamentally, can we change the context of the Abbey Award itself? And that's why when we look back, we got one show on board and we said that we have to make it so attractive that I don't need to go the performance marketing route. The story is performance marketing will always work, but is expensive. I can bribe you every time you buy a product. Eventually, my bribe will be more than. I mean, she's a marketer, so she's telling it in kind words. I'm saying it in very unkind words. So I'm yet to find an example in which performance marketing could increase price of a product. I haven't found it. I have asked it to everybody. In big forums, I have asked this question. I haven't found one example of performance marketing being able to increase price. Decrease price, discount, of course. So after a point in time, your bribe will become more than your value of purchase, right? So here also it was exactly the same thing was happening. Like by mollycoddling agencies. So then finally they started dictating that what should happen in the award. We pull back and say, no, we don't need this. We have to get the attraction back of the award itself. We can't do performance marketing. We can't bribe so much that the award becomes meaningless. So therefore we got one show on board and, luckily, we don't run this award for profit. So therefore we had to run this award for a purpose. So the purpose was very simple. We want to get it back to a stage where there would be interest from people to come and join this. So exactly the point that Vineeta was making, we did it for Abbey One Show Award itself.
Got it.
Before Sonali, you asked me a question.
Yeah.
I want to say something
Yeah,
interesting.
sure, respond.
I think advertising is perhaps the only award show where you have to pay money to win award. Perhaps the only award show in the world. Okay. I think the best thing today, I'm so proud of Abbey Award, is the only perhaps, 80-90% big awards are started for money making businesses. Today you enter a Cannes festival, it's $1,000 entry. It's owned by a bunch of individuals and they make money. I think Abbey, every single person who I know, they're working free. Nobody charging any money, I believe, individually. And I think it's the industry coming together. The money is stay in the industry and not taking individual their bank balance. So couple of people who I know who own the award shows own their islands. That much money for recognition. So I think it's a brilliant 15-20 crazy people come together, standing together, continuously building last 15 years award show where they manage 1,600 people bringing together successfully. I think I have a hats off to the Abbey entire body. Number two, I genuinely believe what salary we're talking about it. See, talent goes where money is. Okay, and money is today every single client who are startup and unicorn, they have money. They don't know what to do with it. They don't know how to. Sometime I met lots of these startup companies and the owners, they have their father's money. They don't know anything about it. And they just think that's smart and they call the agency. They don't listen many times. I think that's a different part. I think the talent is going there because there's a money. I think the 10-15 years ago where I started a career, the money was what we getting that time and 10 years haven't increased. When we ask what's happening, but today I realize somebody from my office who earning 9 lakh rupees salary a yearly, they making 45 lakh salary per year. So I say, I think I think biggest change is going to happen. It's going to be salary correction in next 1 year.
You think it's going to happen?
I think it's going to be salary correction, going to go left, right, and center. talent is going to be the most expensive resource. As Partha say, idea is going to be the core. Just wait for some time. I'm very optimistic, but it's going to be game changer. Talent, this award show for best talent going to be better and better and better. People can't find talent anymore. I think it's going to be amazing show, and the Abby kind of platform will going to give a platform to bring the talent. I think people are all over right now. Lots of creative people are joining. Today we have one at time where we have a ad agencies, one career. Today, every kid has one .com idea, one app idea. If he can't do that, then he have one TV show, then he have a movie idea, and he can't do any of those. He have a stand-up comedy, his own career. So many choices, and he can't do YouTube channel,
or
he can be
influencer.
influencer,
Or you start your own agency and
you
finally.
can say, yeah. For unicorn. So I think I'm in an optimistic way, but I think the most amazing thing going to happen is salary correction. You'll be surprised
You mean
next year.
for the better or?
In a better.
Somebody-
I just like to add
somebody
quickly
who's earning
to what he's saying. You're
the
absolutely right.
agency who charging
I totally
today
agree.
10 lakh rupees retainership, next year they're going to charge 40 lakh
I can
rupees.
I
I'm
can
sure
I
that's
can
gonna happen.
vouch on that because what we are seeing as a clear change that's happening, and I'll just add one point to what he's saying is there is a definite up of salaries, and that salary is not a correction. It's straight upward. I can vouch from the group I represent. It's absolutely gone, and I will not say out of the roof because it is the correct salaries, and these salaries are way above what 3 years back or 4 years back what people were being paid across departments. And what we are also seeing is that the client agency partnership, and I'm talking about fees here, fees are going up. The clients are actually asking for, they're not asking to say that go down. So that's why I'm saying
Really?
there is a
I want to
change.
say, I want to crack a joke here
Yeah.
and this. So when I start my career in enterprise, I have two bosses, Raghu and Andy. They both came from IIM, and IIM where the people were getting hired all the time. So recently, one girl came from IIM for interview, and I asked her how much money she's looking for, and she said some other company offered her 35. I said, but we can only pay 25. Later on, I realized she was talking 35 lakh and I was talking 25,000. I think it's just a funny thing. By the way, don't tell her that I was talking about 25,000. I still think because it's still ijat is there.
Sonali, I think that 15 years is a long time, and I won't even talk about 15 years. Let's just talk about the last 2-3 years. I think if it all starts with the marketing industry, and the marketing industry thinks it starts with the advertising industry, the most important part is in this chicken and egg game, how do you come together? Point number one. Point number two, I believe, is that this industry has changed so dramatically, and all constituents thereof. You talk about legacy brands, they have survived the test of time. You talk about the new brands, they want to survive the test of time. Everyone is searching with questions and no answers. And I think this is the kind of a forum where when people come together, when discuss what are the common issues, you talked about that's the agenda that should be discussed.
This should have been on stage.
That's the agenda.
Yes.
That's the agenda I think we're going to evolve. And like Rana said, this year was to one, introspect, and let's say try and reinvent ourselves like we reinvent our brands. I feel as an award show, the fact that there are some agencies who've not taken part, but the fact that their creative heads have taken part as jury chairs or jury members, they have invested their time because they are believing and they are seeing the change. Therefore, I feel that all of us have questions, all of us need answers, and none of us can find it individually. This is the forum in the Indian context. Now, I don't want to compare myself with anywhere in the world because they're all different.
Absolutely.
We have to find the answers ourselves. And the minute any of us think we can find it individually, we are not. This is what brings us together.
One of the things I wanted to say is somewhere along these 15 years that has got dropped off, and I'm reminded of that based on what Ajay said, is that when we started, the first day afternoon was actually not meant for everyone. It was labeled a business conclave. And the first year or the second year, if I remember, we had invited people like Subhash Chandra, Uday Shankar,
Yes.
and only agency heads. And the theme of that afternoon was from 15 to 50,000 crores. That these 25 senior leaders coming from marketing, advertising and media deliberated on why is the advertising industry so small and what are the steps that should be taken to, improve creativity, to increase spend, to make marketing work more efficiently. Somewhere it worked for 2-3 years, then kind of began to lose steam because I dare say, I think those discussions did not result in anything too concrete. In the sense, even after bringing together these high powered people by 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, we could not really come to a meaningful conclusion that, okay, let's do these 3, 4, 5 things. Somewhere I feel that concept should be brought back on day one. As you said, we rightfully have now a new set of people who look at it with new eyes. And mind you, we've kind of not too badly on the numbers, because we said 15,000 to 50,000 in 5 years. We've moved from 15,000 to 90,000 in 15 years.
Oh, yeah, you want to add something?
Yeah, just only one point, which is this 90,000, everybody has made money, right? The publishers made money. So now the digital publishers, previously used to be television and print. So even the celebrities have started making truckload more money.
Yeah.
So all the new age companies, they quickly go and hire one celebrity. So I don't know whether one celebrity, when he says what product he's talking about, I have no idea. But they keep on paying big money to the celebrities. Even the celebrities have become bigger. Even the influencers have become bigger. The only guys who became smaller and smaller are advertising agencies.
Yeah.
So there has to be something which gets corrected somewhere. And I agree with both Rana and Raj, because they represent the agency business. Yeah. Something will get corrected very soon, because it can't go on like this, that the tertiary and the secondary people are making more money from the originators. It cannot work like that. There is a fundamental flaw there, and it will have to get corrected at some level.
So that's exactly the pause I was saying. So there is a pause, there is an introspection. And I think many of us have actually now, I won't say we've caught the bull by the horn, because we know it's a challenge. We understand that it's not like my camp or your camp or, thing. I think what we are also telling the clients that it's tough, and many clients are slowly moving. I think slow and steady, what we are also seeing is that, you're going to find changes, because the clients are also not getting into what we used to call the swayamvar of pitches and all. Now the pitches are becoming more cleaner. So I'm saying there are changes happening. It's no more 9 or 10 agencies are being called. There's one big pitch happening right now. It's very clear the way they're handling it, the way the entire thing is being discussed. Things are far more transparent. Now whether it's happened because we've suddenly evolved as human beings in the last 3 years, too early to say.
Absolutely.
But I definitely see that there is a change.
Right.
And that's where I am being very positive about the whole conversation today.
I have one request to you as a change you're asking. I think I love Abbey Award and his ad club. Somehow maintain the ad club, should not be media club. Somewhere so much presence in media here, I think we as a creative people get scared. So
I agree.
we want a ad club, not media club.
We
That's
get
what
your
we
point.
think.
Yeah, we understand your point.
But I remain with the point, Raj, that the fact is that you can say it originates from anywhere and it culminates anywhere. But the fact is, all the facets of the advertiser, the media, the creative fraternities and the allied fraternities only collectively make it happen. And
I
the
agree.
debates we are
Agree.
talking about, if some of us have it without all the constituents, we are not going to get the solution. Now, I was just taking forward what Sonali said, and I think we discussed it last night. Just imagine if the new age brands and what you're calling the pedigreed brands are sitting across the table, chatting and just asking each other, hey, I have issues. You have issues. I don't want to go through the same cycle you went through. What do we do? And I think that's where, if the common good happens, individuals will benefit. If everyone looks at only individual, and whether it's media versus creative, creative versus client, or north, south, east, west, it's not going to work.
Agree.
So that's what I think a forum like this gives you an opportunity. The fact that all of us have realized the need, we're going to find the solution. If we can find solutions for our client brands, why can't we find it for ourselves?
Just one. Sorry, just one, and I know time is running out. I think what you've done today is, so if I could request you as an agency person and a network person, is if you could, and people like you could also start raising these kind of conversations
For
in
sure.
forums like that, versus just doing the same. You know what I'm saying? If people like you lead the way, and you are a leading channel, conversation. This is the first time I've not been part of a panel like this. I can tell you, I've been part of many panels, but it is so boring. It's so boring.
No, that
Because
is
you have-
Sonali. She make it everything
No, but I'm saying
interesting.
that even if you do 10 a year, we are happy. But you're going to raise so many questions, because imagine these 6 people will get replaced by maybe another 6 sets of people. Imagine the kind of conversations we had today. This is the first time I'm hearing a lot of stuff which is so good, and I'm actually hearing myself also being so positive. I'm surprised, but that's happy. It's good for me.
But before I end, I want to thank all of you for this candid speaking from the heart. No frills, no bullshit conversation. So thank you for that. And for me, this conversation has made my Goafest. So thank you for that. And hopefully next year, when we come back, some of what we've discussed will translate, and I won't have the same discussion again. But
Another set of people.
and my commitment to you, Rana, is that I will take these issues forward, and I'm hoping industry leaders such as yourselves will come forward and have plain speak with me. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great, Sonali.